Hey everybody, welcome to Don't Copy That Floppy. I'm your host Lex.
I'm the other host, Dan. We're your weekly video game news podcast here on Chip It Radio at chipit.net.
We've got so many articles to talk about this week.
We don't have any shows to talk about.
No.
We have just this one show.
Maybe if chipit.net would get off their buns and get
Make some other
shows.
Jeez. Wait, don't they have a couple other shows?
Maybe.
We talk about video game news, industry news, upcoming releases, stuff like that, every week from 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
We're on all sorts of social media, such as Facebook, Twitter, Steam, YouTube, and iTunes.
Yep, we got an archive on iTunes as well as on chipit.net. So you can go back and listen to old episodes.
Yeah, and please interact with us on social media. We'd greatly appreciate it.
Yeah.
We have so much news to talk about this week. Man, we got stuff about pro gaming. We got stuff about
We got stuff about Street Fighter. We got stuff about Konami. We got stuff about Xbox. We got stuff about Snoop Dogg.
Oh man,
I found Snoop Dogg news that is relevant.
Excellent. Also, new games that have been announced.
Yes.
Patches for old games that have come out,
And re-releases of old games too. I got all sorts of stuff.
and a little bit of game industry news where a developer an update on an ongoing story we've been doing.
Yes.
I'll tease it like that.
We like to start with Kickstarter news, so let's jump right into this Kickstarter news.
Oh yeah.
We talked about this last week, when it had first gone up. This is a Kickstarter for Insert Coin Inside Midway's 90s Revolution, which is a documentary that is going for funding on Kickstarter about Midway Games, the Midway Games of the 1990s, makers of such arcade classics as Mortal Kombat and NBA Jam and Narc.
Oh my
Same
god.
with drugs.
I'm just kicking myself now that I didn't get sound bites for NBA Jam.
Oh, you should have.
Fool.
There's always more time. So this Kickstarter is for a documentary film about this studio. It seems really cool. They are currently at 36,000, well, closer to 37,000 of their $75,000 goal, with 23 days left. So they're doing okay.
Yeah, they're doing all right.
This one is still kind of like touch and go right now, but I feel like they might be able to do it.
Yeah.
It looks pretty sweet. I would love to know more about the Midway Games that made all of the crazy stuff that was made by them back then. It's pretty wild. There's some clips of like unfinished games and stuff like on this Kickstarter, and then talking about like the projects they'll be discussing and things like that. So it'll be fun. I think there might even be some stuff that comes out that not a lot of people know about already, like behind the scenes at the studio. So that's cool.
Yeah, check it out. Give $1 or $2 if you're so inclined.
Their minimum is $15, Lex.
Wait, what? I'm surprised they've gotten as much money as they have. Who wants to shell out $15 as a minimum?
221 backers.
That's crazy. You could at least have a $1 thing that doesn't actually give any rewards.
They got their two $5,000 backers. They got the two of them. And that's that you get to be in the documentary talking about your experiences with Midway Games. Yeah. Which is really cool.
That was really cool.
So that's neat. And I think it's neat that those were already taken. Which means that a whopping 10,000 of that 36,000 is just us two people. But hey, why not? The next one down from that is $3,000.
Super fan.
There's 4 left. You get credit as an executive producer. You don't get plain text credits. You got like explosions and glitter.
Like
Superman the movie.
Oh.
Okay. And 10 copies of the Blu-ray.
What? Why?
To give the family and friends.
Sure.
Stupid. Jesus.
Yeah. How could I not know?
How did you not get that?
Throw a sound effect up for that. Excellent. Exactly what I wanted. Let's move on to the next story.
Perfect. We talked about how Batman Arkham Knight is super broken on PC.
And it's going to be broken until September.
It's going to continue to be broken until September. However, Invidia in between bouts of burning people's computers from the inside out, have said that they are going to help fix it. Nvidia's Tom Peterson says that a lot of his best and brightest colleagues, so like engineers and like software people, are working with Warner Brothers to fix this PC port. So Nvidia has, as a goodwill gesture, sent some of their people to Warner Brothers to actively work on optimizing this game and fixing their own graphics drivers for it and everything like that.
So on the one hand, I want to give Nvidia credit
for just kind of doing this pro bono.
Yeah, for being cool guys about it. But on the other hand, I'm like, dude, Arkham Knight is a AAA game. They should be able to fix it themselves.
It should have been functional.
It should have been
when
functional.
it launched in the first place.
But, like, they're not... Warner Brothers is not a company that needs charity. Like, they got plenty of money.
Well, I think Nvidia's doing this as, like... It's a publicity proof.
Yeah.
Because they're saying, oh, look, this broken game. We'll come help fix it. Buy Nvidia graphics cards.
I really hope that the guys they send over, they're like, oh, yeah, just go fix that. The guys are like, okay, cool. Then they get there, start working on it, and they're like, no, this is too broken.
It's too broken. Can't do it. You can't do it.
Frustration.
I think, at the very least, this was a really smart move by Nvidia. Because it's free publicity, where people will be like, oh, look, Nvidia, what nice guys. Trying to fix Batman for us. So, good on them. But I agree with you. What the hell, Warner Brothers? Now you're not even taking like the Randy Pitchford stance on this and saying, no, I can understand why some people wouldn't like the game the way it is, but it just is how it is, and that's your problem.
Sometimes when you build a beautiful sandcastle,
people just want to tear it down, like Warner Brothers. I'm really surprised they're not just taking that stance on it, but oh well. Maybe humility will be what allows them to actually fix this game. Time will tell, I guess. We'll see in September. Part of me really wants the game to get, like, reissued and patched in September and, like, still just be...
That would be great.
It would be so funny. It would be so funny. You boot it up and it's just Assassin's Creed Unity. What do we got? Speaking of things getting big patches and fixes...
Oh my gosh.
Why don't you take us into this one, Lex?
Oh man,
since you dug this up.
On July 21st, we discovered an amazing thing. An amazing gift that Obsidian Entertainment gave us.
A gift.
For those of us who in 2005 were really, really into the KoToR series...
Oh, that was me.
Yeah, that was me too.
Everything was gravy once you got off Terrace.
Yep. And you had that Xbox, that original Xbox.
Oh, what a mess!
A game came out called Knights of the Old Republic 2: The Sith Lords. Now, this was not made by BioWare, but instead was contracted out and made by Obsidian Entertainment. Sort of like how they did with Fallout, right?
Because Fallout New Vegas.
Yeah.
What Bethesda did with Fallout.
Yes.
Yeah.
So. This is Old Republic 2. I mean, it had some problems.
It was not a perfect game.
No. It had, as we learned after its release, it had been rushed through production.
So, about the last 10-15% of that game just kind of made no sense.
Yep.
You crash land on a planet, and everybody's gone, and you wander around, and you fight the big bad guys. And one of them talks at you for a while, and then the game just kind of ends. Yep. Nothing really gets resolved or happens. Yeah, a little bit.
Which was especially disappointing because I think the rest of the game's really quite good.
And KoToR 1 was so good.
And KoToR 1 was so
good. And had,
a
definitive ending and felt really fleshed out and complete.
So then that was sort of the end of that story for a very long time.
Yes.
But I think in recent years we had seen KoToR 1 get an iOS release and sort of be revived a little bit through that, make a lot of money for people.
These games were remembered.
Yeah, definitely.
They were really big when they came out, and everybody remembers them fondly.
So KoToR 2, which has been on Steam for a while, quite a while, I assume.
Yeah.
Got a patch. Like, Obsidian announced on the 21st, like, hey guys, we made a patch for this.
We patched KoToR II.
Yeah, and everyone was like, what? But the patch is amazing. They added 37 achievements that you can earn through gameplay. That's
Steam Cloud saves.
Native widescreen resolution support, kind of important in this day and age.
Yep.
Also, 4 and 5K resolution support.
Yep. Support for controllers.
Like the Xbox 360, the Xbone, the PS3, the PS4, and several others.
Perhaps most importantly, though, they added Steam Workshop support.
Yeah, that's
a big
awesome.
deal.
So,
because as we talked about before the show, KoToR 2 had a lot of content, and the fans had already made a restored content mod that brought back a lot of that stuff, fixed a bunch of bugs, and was just generally kind of what you needed to make the game a lot better.
And day one of that workshop support, that mod was up there.
Yep.
And it's been getting, I think it's gotten an update since it was put up there. So now there's like more interest in fleshing that out more and making other mods. It's been up for like a couple days, but I already found a mod that makes Darth Nihilus just have like really nice textures.
Ooh.
But only him, no other characters.
Ooh.
And I was like, he's the only character who needs it.
He should have good textures.
But that made me think, like,
that dude's cool.
I know this game is not going to have the kind of fan support that Skyrim does.
No.
But it would be really nice to see a lot of those.
There's some diehards out there, though.
Yeah.
Who are going to be making stuff for this.
Yeah, like see all those nice HD texture mods for like the whole game and just make it look so much better than it originally did.
I think that there's enough of a fan base for this still that we'll see some stuff like that. I would be surprised if we don't. Game is $7.49 on Steam right now.
Yeah, it's
25% off. So if you really like Knights of the Old Republic or Star Wars or whatever, even if you played it before, now might be a good time to re-experience it.
Check it out.
Especially if you haven't played it with the restored content.
Yeah.
Which actually,
I haven't either.
I might have to do that.
I was thinking of buying it myself because I definitely want to.
Yeah.
I haven't played it in a really long time either because it did come out 10 years ago.
I only played through it once, and that was right when it came out. So it's been a while. It's been a minute since I played me some KoToR. Two. Well, or just the first one. Too.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I actually had replayed 2 once or twice.
Uh-huh.
I actually felt like it had more replay value than 1. Just
it did.
The story was a little
There's more
twisty.
depth to it. Yeah, and there's a lot more options that you get to, like, things you get to choose between throughout it. Lots of more decisions to make that actually have, like, an effect on the story. Except for all the stuff where Krea's like, why'd you do that?
Oh my god, Krea sucks so bad.
No matter what you do, she hates you.
It's true.
You can't win with that old lady.
So
just let me be a Jedi, you old bag! It was rough. This is an unfortunate story.
Oh no.
That you dug up.
This is an update, sort of, to a story.
It's sort of an update.
Yeah. We've been doing a lot of stories recently
Lizard Squad.
About Lizard Squad and their hate of game communities, and specifically their hate of a man named John Smedley, who he runs a studio, or did run the studio that did H1Z1 and PlanetSide 2. But prior to that, he had became famous for making the first EverQuest.
Yes.
So he is a veteran of the industry.
Co-founded the studio that went on to become Sony Online Entertainment.
And then did its name change again to like Daybreak or something? Yeah, Daybreak. So as of, when was this article written?
The 22nd, I believe?
As of the 22nd, it was announced that he is stepping down from his position.
Yep.
Now, details were not given as to why he was stepping down, but I think it's pretty easy for us to assume that it's because the most recent spat that he had with Lizard Squad. Lizard Squad had been targeting him for a while. They made a flight that he was on land because of the bomb threat. They swatted him multiple times. They released his financial records online.
So this teenager, this from Finland, Julius Z-Kill Kivimaki, was convicted of like 50,000 cybercrime related charges, and he's one of the ones directly responsible for like the plane flight thing.
And now because of
he's not serving jail time.
Yeah, he has a 2-year suspended prison sentence.
Yeah.
He basically got a slap on the wrist and we explained in our past episode, reasons for that. But
and Mr. Smedley got mad.
He got real mad, as would be understandable.
I think so.
So Smedley went to social media and just
Well, he said he was going to pursue legal action against the kid and his family.
And the kid's parents specifically. Yeah. And a lot of people online praised Smedley for doing that. Yeah. But of course, Lizard Squad just got upset and DDoSed his company's games yet again. So H1Z1 and PlanetSide 2 were both down for a while. Yeah. And I think it was probably at that point that there were internal discussions within Daybreak saying, hey, it's gotten to the point where this guy is just a liability to our company. Yeah.
Their company's spokesperson said, I can confirm that John Smedley will be taking some time off from the company for the near term and transitioning to a different role to be determined. Which is a really polite way of saying that they're trying to get rid of him.
Yeah, he's fired. So he's done. He didn't deserve any of this.
No, he did not. I feel super bad for this guy.
Well, I hope that he gets back in the industry soon, and I also hope his legal action works out.
He didn't do nothing wrong.
I mean, he made EverQuest.
Hey, that's not really something wrong.
That led to a lot of addiction, Dan.
I suppose.
He's responsible for those
That just means he made a game that was that good. Having never played EverQuest myself, can't attest to that, but, let's talk about esports. Specifically,
do we have to?
Let's talk about esports doping.
So I had an article from the 22nd from KoToR II, but yours is from
the 23rd from Polygon.
Took that extra day to get the story right.
Get it right.
Polygon. So, as we've talked about in the past, this is also sort of a follow-up to a lot of other stories we've done. In the past, we've talked about how esports are growing. Yeah. And more colleges are offering scholarships for them. Prize pools are getting bigger and bigger. They're filling bigger stadiums. Lots more money is getting pumped into it. It's becoming really big business. Yep. And more like a professional sport.
Yes.
So I guess this is the next step. So it'd be like a professional sport.
Yep. The World Anti-Doping Agency will be helping to set standards and coordinate efforts to prevent the use of performance-enhancing drugs in esports. Most notably, in this article I have, they're talking about Adderall.
Yeah, no, my article did too. And I think it was also for Counter-Strike players.
I really like the two enlarged quotes in this article, which are, the prevention program will ensure players are provided with information and structural support, followed by, we were all on Adderall.
All of us. Every last one.
Well, this is what this guy, Corey Semphis, that's his,
tag.
Screen name, I guess. What do you even call that now?
I think it's a user tag.
User tag? Is that, because it used to be screen name, and then we have gamer tag from Xbox.
Oh, that's true, yeah.
So I don't know what the general term is, but whatever. Corey Friesen said that he used Adderall during the Esports League 1 Katowice event in March. So a recent event. I don't follow esports really, so I don't know what that is. But he said, we were all on Adderall. I don't even give a fuck.
That was his quote. I don't even give a fuck.
That's what he said. It was pretty obvious if you listen to the comms. People can hate it or whatever.
Oh my god,
that last line makes him sound like such an ass.
I know, right? Definitely drug test this kid and get him kicked out. He sucks.
People can hate it or whatever. Oh my god.
Does it say how old he is? Is he 13?
I don't know. I bet he wears a fedora.
Oh my god, a trilby.
So euphoric.
So,
a trilby?
You just got it.
That's where... I don't even know, man.
So, this is, Adderall, actually, I've been reading stories, not video game related, about how a lot of college students are on Adderall. Oh, yeah. Because Adderall's a drug specifically developed to help treat ADHD.
Because it keeps you focused.
Yes.
And alert.
So a lot of people would be taking it either if they're
cramming for tests,
or if they're in like the business world and they have crazy schedules and like deadlines to meet. But since it makes you
or
focus,
if they just want to have a good time.
I want to have a good time, so I'm just going to get like super hyper focused. I'm really focused on having a good time. But no,
hey, why not?
So the argument to be made with esports with this is that it can improve your reaction time.
Yeah, because obviously if you're more focused on the thing you're doing, that'll carry over into a video game. Because your reflexes will be sharper. Because you're much more on task with whatever's happening in the game.
And especially if they're talking about Counter-Strike, because Counter-Strike is like the Twitch game.
Like FPS stuff like that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It was funny though, because when I first read the title of this
Playing
article,
Counter-Strike right is basically like having a seizure.
It's true. So when I was first reading like the title of this article, I was just thinking like, wait, because I didn't realize it was about Adderall, and I thought steroids don't make you game better.
Yeah,
that's all I could think.
That
of.
was my first thought too. I was like, what are they going to do?
And then I was like, no, there isn't a performance-enhancing drug for video games. And they were like, no, Adderall. And I thought, I guess, yeah, totally.
Yeah. So the question is that the only thing they're going to get in trouble for? Like, what if one of the guys playing esports is doing steroids?
That would be interesting.
To just get super ripped? But that wouldn't affect his video gaming.
Well, I guess it depends on if steroids are illegal anyway.
I mean, yeah, that's true.
So that's a thing. But let's assume that it's a drug that could be performance-enhancing in a regular sport, but it's not normally illegal.
Yeah.
Then I guess they wouldn't get in trouble for that.
Yeah.
Nor should they, really.
Yeah. It's just a weird idea.
It is weird. Just like how I guess if you're playing baseball and you're just chugging a lot of Adderall pills, you can get in trouble for that.
Just sit in the dugout. Just in the dugout and
Pop those Adderalls.
Just pour a whole bottle right down your mouth.
Get a seizure.
Get a seizure. You'll be so good at baseball. So they're going to be doing randomized drug testing, and they're going to be doing skin tests at every event in the Intel Extreme Masters, ESL 1, and ESL ESCA Pro. God, so many E's.
There's a lot of
Pro League competitions. So they're going to be doing these tests at like every major event.
Well, that's the thing. So this is applying to Counter-Strike. It's applied to those events. From what I read a little bit, some other stuff about it. Basically just saying that because this is a new ruling that they've made, it has yet to be adopted by the majority of the different esports leagues. So there are still plenty of leagues where this is still legal to do. Okay. But the assumption is that they will probably come around to this ruling eventually anyway, because it seems to make sense.
Yeah.
Of course, if you are Corey Sepphoris Fearson, you don't give a fuck.
You don't give a fuck, and people can hate it or whatever.
Yeah. And that guy can get kicked out of the league. Or whatever.
Hey, you want to talk about a lawsuit brought forward 8 years ago?
Does that have to do with Randy Pitchford again?
It does not.
Oh, okay.
It has to do with Xbox 360 ruining your video games.
Oh.
So, aside from the Red Ring of Death, Xbox 360 also had a penchant for scratching your disc something fierce. If you jostled the console even like the tiniest little bit.
One time I made my friend's disc scratch in his 360.
Yep.
But that was not the 360's fault. That was completely my fault.
Fair enough. But this lawsuit was brought forward about this disc scratching defect attributed to its design, and it is actually going to be moving forward, like, now, because a court has rejected Microsoft's attempts to keep it from becoming a class action lawsuit. So now it's going to be going to federal district court, where it might become class action.
Look at how quickly our legal system works in
8
the United
years.
States.
You can finally get payoff for all those games that your Xbox 360 scratched.
Just a whole console generation behind.
Microsoft argues that even under normal playing conditions, the disk drive is so sensitive, or no, the plaintiffs argue this, that the disk drive is so sensitive that it spins disks out of control and into other parts in the console. They're bouncing around in there. It's crazy. It's chaos.
That sounds hilarious.
They don't even give a fuck. And to which Microsoft responded, you can sue us or whatever. Oh, what am I playing? I panicked. No, Microsoft said that the vast majority of these problems were not experienced by users of the 360, which is definitely not true. And that the disk scratching, if it occurs, is due to the consumer's misuse of the console, is not a design flaw. Which I don't think holds a lot of water, considering no other consoles have had a disk scratching issue to this extent.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this problem didn't happen with Sony or Nintendo, or even, like, original Xbox. So, like, you're grabbing at straws there by yourself. I just think it's interesting that now, of all times, now that the Xbox One has been out for over a year, we're getting this Xbox 360 lawsuit moving forward.
But Dan, it could ruin sales of the Xbox 360.
Oh, no!
No, but I guess the good thing about this is some people get to be recompensated, and better late than never.
Yeah. Microsoft had received 55,000 complaints about the scratching by 2008.
Oh.
Like, that's a problem. That's not user error anymore.
That's more complaints than cybercrimes that Zeke committed. And that's tough to do.
Oh, God.
Because he committed a lot of cybercrimes.
He did. I love the word cybercrime. I can't wait till more things happen culturally that let us have new kinds of crime. Space crime.
Yes.
I can't wait. I cannot wait for space crime.
When we finally colonize other planets, moon crime.
Moon crimes. He's committed a galaxy crime. Oh, it's so good. Time crime.
Super Time Force.
Super Time Force. So, I bet you never thought we'd talk about Snoop Dogg on this show.
I mean, I assumed at some point we'd get around to him.
We're going to talk about Snoop Dogg, and we're going to talk about Xbox 360. See how these tie together?
Are we also going to talk about Snoop Lion?
Is he still Snoop Lion, or is he back to being Snoop Dogg?
No, he's back to being Snoop Dogg.
It was short-lived. I don't want to talk about Snoop Lion.
Okay.
I would really rather not.
Nobody wanted to talk about Snoop Lion.
So Snoop Dogg, last night, meaning the 21st, because this is from an article on the 22nd, Snoop hit Instagram with a screenshot of the vote total for EA's NCAA Football 14 becoming backwards compatible on Xbox One. So basically, Microsoft is having a user poll of what games people want to see become backwards compatible. And Snoop Dogg is pulling really hard for NCAA Football 14, the last of that series. The series ended because of a bunch of lawsuits levied at EA Sports by the colleges.
Oh, yeah, because they were...
It was a big mess involving, like, use of images of people and places and colleges and stuff. It was a whole crap show. But Snoop said to his followers, we need, period, 10,000 votes. Period. So now, as of the time of this article, it has more than 5,700 votes. But Snoop Dogg may not understand what it would take to get this game released as backwards compatible, because it's still locked in this big limbo of lawsuit issues, even though the lawsuit was settled. But getting approval to re-release this game via backwards compatibility on the Xbox One will probably never happen. And this was something I didn't think of, which is how the licensing might work with this, and how it may prevent certain games from becoming backwards compatible. And I know NCAA Football 14 is kind of like a weird exception, but it's still... I mean, it sets kind of a precedent. for going forward with this backwards compatibility, because apparently they need some kind of approval maybe to release certain games from the company. So I'm wondering if there's going to be other companies that are just like, no, we don't want to do that.
No,
like I don't know. Where's that? There's something in here about the lawsuit, and now I can't find it.
No.
It was something about this $60 million. Someone got $60 million.
Did Snoop Dogg get $60 million?
Snoop Dogg did not get $60 million.
Did Snoop Lion get $60 million? And then he hid it away. Then dropped that name. That's why he went back to Snoop Dogg. It all makes sense. But I think it's really funny that he's just so into this
particular
football game that, like, every football game they release every year is exactly the same.
Yeah.
There's no differences. Like, why do you care so much about this?
And everybody bought NCAA football and played it for 2 months until Madden came out.
Yeah.
And then they just sold it and started playing Madden. Except for Snoop Dogg, I guess.
He loved it.
But he's Snoop Dogg. He's rich. Why doesn't he just still have an Xbox 360 and play NCAA Football 14 on it?
Because when you get an Xbox 360, it spins the disc too fast and it just bounces around.
Oh no!
Or maybe he just got red ringed. I don't know.
Maybe he got that red rizzle. Yeah. So, good luck, Snoop Dogg. We wish you the best.
/ kinda don't care about your whole
Yeah, I don't know. I just thought it was funny. Minecraft's getting a Telltale game.
We discussed that when we saw the trailer. It was
Minecraft,
hilarious.
I forgot, was also in talks to get a movie.
I forgot about that too because I had tried to block it out.
Are you excited?
No, there's another sound effect that expresses what I am.
Is it this one? Okay.
Pizza time!
I just wanted to do that one. But, so Minecraft's getting a movie, and it's found its director. It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia creator Rob McElhenney.
God, McElhenney, you could do so much better.
I agree. But I'm also kind of intrigued and want this movie to just be a twisted, like, horror show, similar to Always Sunny.
Or if it's just the Night Man Cometh.
The Night Man Cometh adapted into Minecraft graphics.
That would be the biggest troll ever.
That would be pretty fantastic. Yeah. You gotta pay the troll toll.
You wanna get the voice toll?
The what?
Oh no.
So they announced, Mojang announced on the 21st that they had decided to hire him, but they didn't have any other details on the film. Warner Brothers is producing. And originally, the guy directing who directed Night at the Museum and Real Steel is being succeeded by McElhenney because he left the project after his approach to adapting the game was shot down.
Well, I mean, on the one hand, I guess he made Night at the Museum and Real Steel, so his approach was probably really terrible.
On Twitter, McElhenney said he wants to do something strange and wonderful.
But I meant
coming from this guy, that means a lot. I'm really curious. Will this movie star Danny DeVito?
Oh my god, I so hope that he's in it as a minor character.
Only hope.
So good.
Charlie Day will probably be in it this Spades.
Yeah, probably.
And if they're going for kind of a comedy feel like the Telltale thing, I mean, that has, Patton Oswalt and all those people, so it makes sense. If these funny people in there.
That would be weird if the Telltale story mode became a movie tie-in.
That'd be really weird.
But kind of interesting. Really weird.
All of this Minecraft media is throwing me for a loop.
Now, this movie had been announced, a while ago.
Quite a while.
When Minecraft first, cusped.
Yes.
But I think it's getting renewed attention partially because the Lego movie did super well in theaters, and now it's sold all of its copies on DVD and Blu-ray and stuff, and everyone's like, wow, that was so much money.
But that movie was also super good.
It was super good.
So the question is...
Charlie Day was in it, too.
He was.
He was.
The question is, does this movie have any hope of being super good?
Well...
I mean, I didn't think the Lego movie would be worth anything. But that movie ended up being really good.
And part of that was because it had really good people working on it.
Yeah.
So now we're seeing some good people working on Minecraft, so maybe. It's still... I'm wary of it, but I'm a little
It could be okay. Sure. Why not? I didn't know Minecraft had horses now.
No, I do.
I haven't played that game in a very long time. You want to talk about Street Fighter?
Oh god, no.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
Who's your favorite Street Fighter character?
Bison?
Yeah. Because
I came expecting a man.
But instead, you found a god.
Exactly.
Street Fighter V has been given its first all-new character. For anyone who didn't know Street Fighter V, it's on its way to us. Characters are being announced. They already said that Ken Masters, the classic clone of Ryu, is coming back, but they have actually changed him now. He's going to play way differently from Ryu now, and they changed up his appearance and design and everything. So cool. A lot of people are mad because they're like, no, don't change don't change Ken, keep him the same as Ryu. Those people are stupid.
No, I liked his character design. I thought it was good that they did it.
From a gameplay perspective, he actually plays totally different now.
Cool.
Too. For the first time in decades. Ever, basically.
Now,
this guy's brand new.
Yeah, this got announced at EVO.
Yep, which just happened.
In, where did it happen? In Vegas, I want to say?
I think so, yeah.
And it was the big fighting game.
Big fighting game tournament.
Yeah.
Happens every year. So this article is from July 19th. The character is named Nikali, who he appears to be kind of like a grappler sort of character. If you watch the video announcing him, he's got this really feral, nasty fighting style. And in his normal state, he has these big, huge dreadlocks that I think look awful.
They look really bad.
They look really bad. And I'm not even talking from a design standpoint. I'm talking because in the game, when you're jumping around doing all this stuff, they clip through his body like crazy.
God, it's terrible.
It doesn't look good. It really doesn't look good. But there's a new mode in this game called V-Trigger, which is a power-up state that all the characters can do. It's basically Super Saiyan mode that all the characters can do. It changes up their whole fighting style. And Nikali's is really cool because his dreadlocks all explode. And he just gets crazy Super Saiyan hair, but red. And it looks awesome. And it makes me wish that he just always looked like that.
Yeah, one of our followers on Facebook responded to me posting the story, being like, Super Saiyan 3 Goku confirmed for Street Fighter V.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. For real. So he looks neat, though. He looks like he has a pretty unique fighting style, so it's exciting to see this brand new character. It's always fun when an old franchise like Street Fighter, when they start adding new characters in with each iteration, to see what they add to the already existing roster.
And because we know that, and we've talked about this with Street Fighter in the past, but the people who make it are so good at the precision of the mechanics and tweaking them just enough. Yeah. So the fact that they already have that covered makes me be like, oh, this new content, I know it will be well implemented and well balanced because they care about that first and foremost.
So Street Fighter V, it has been confirmed will ship with a roster of 16 characters to start. 4 of those will be completely new to the series. So we're going to have 12 returning fighters and 4 totally new people. So we've got 3 more totally new people on the way. Be exciting to see. Wonder if they'll all have crazy dreadlocks.
Hopefully not.
Hopefully not.
Hopefully they can fix the clipping issues in a patch.
What is a cooler announcement to go along with this article's from the 18th, is that all of Street Fighter V's... Street Fighter V will be one disc. It's not going to be like Street Fighter 4, where they released Super Street Fighter 4, then Super Street Fighter 4 Turbo, Super Street Fighter 4 Turbo Arcade Edition.
There was a lot of them.
All that stuff to add new content. This time we're going to get a disc. It's going to have the starting content. Everything else is going to be DLC. All the new characters and everything. And patches. But Capcom has now said, because obviously the concern there is, okay, so you're going to charge us for every character that comes out. So we're going to end up paying a ton of money to have this complete game. But no. You are going to be able to buy all of the DLC with in-game currency.
Ooh.
Which I think is really cool. You're going to... Basically, they say there's two different types of currency. There's fight money, and there's zenny. Fight money is what you earn just by playing the game. You get it for just doing matches, stuff like that. And you can spend it on characters and all whatever other DLC costumes, things that you want. Zenny is the currency that you pay money for. So it's almost like free-to-play games on Facebook where they have like special currency that you pay real money for. Or like World of Tanks has something like that.
And like Hearthstone has the same kind of thing too. And I'm super into this system because if you're someone who just wants to grind...
Yeah, if you just want to play the game and not spend the extra money, you can still get all the characters and costumes you want.
Amazing.
But if you're like a hardcore player who's like, I want these new characters immediately, and I want to be able to like learn the fights right away, like learn the matchups with these characters as soon as I possibly can, you can just buy the character. If you don't care, go for it. So Capcom, they can still make some extra money out of this, because I know there's going to be people who just buy all these characters the moment they come out. Like, definitely.
Yeah.
But I really like the idea of being able to buy them with an in-game earned currency. And I don't think we've really seen this in any game of this sort before. So I'm hoping that it works out well for them, so we maybe see it become more of a trend. I like the idea. Speaking of Hearthstone, while we're at it,
we had some Hearthstone news this week.
Yep. I just pulled up the website itself on BattleNet.
On the 22nd, it was announced that Hearthstone is going to have a brand new set coming out.
The Grand Tournament.
And
it looks really goofy.
It's super goofy. Which kind of continues this whole idea where Hearthstone is just like,
it's pretty lighthearted
except
for
silly.
the most part. Yeah. It seems to be like the whole theming of it is a big tournament with knights showing up to fight each other and do all this crazy stuff. It's a goofy setup for an expansion, and it's not really what I expected. Because before this, they did like the goblins and gnomes,
which was also kind of goofy.
Yeah,
and that set's big mechanic was creature type.
Yes,
like making decks around the neck creature type.
Yes.
This new one is about using your hero powers more.
Yes. They show off a bunch of cards that directly affect your use of your hero power.
So making it cost less to use.
So you can use it like any number of times per round. Yeah.
And cards that say whenever you use the hero power, that creature becomes inspired, and then an effect happens, like either another creature is spawned or it gets pumped or something.
Right. So, cool. Was there an expansion after the Goblins and Gnomes one?
No, this will be... This? There have been... what are they called? The gameplay missions.
The solo episodes.
Missions. Yeah,
like the dungeon episodes.
There have been one of those after Notes and Goblins, but there hasn't.
Okay. But there's not been a full expansion.
Yeah, so this is going to add, 130 new cards?
That's 132, I think they said.
132, yeah. Yep.
Cool.
So I'm excited. It looks interesting. It looks fun. I've consistently liked Hearthstone, and from what I've seen of the new cards, it looks like they're adding fun mechanics, but they're not adding stuff that's super unbalanced.
We're not getting too much power creep yet.
Yeah, it'll be...
It's not Magic the Gathering yet.
Not yet. I mean, to be fair to Magic Gathering, it took them 10 years to get horrible power creep.
Yeah.
So,
I haven't played much Hearthstone since I initially started, so... Maybe I'll check it out again once this comes out.
There's a special deal. You could spend, $50 and get 50 packs.
Whoa!
Which, considering a pack is $3, is
that's actually a really good deal.
Really good deal, but who wants to spend $50 on a free-to-play game?
Not me.
Not me.
I didn't spend a penny on that game. It is a fun game, though. And I'm glad that they're continuing to support it so much. That it was so well received in the first place. It's fun. We can't go a week without talking about Metal Gear.
Oh god, again?
Again.
Metal Gear story?
Kojima. So Hideo Kojima shared a poster for the Phantom Pain that doesn't have his name on it.
But you know what it does have on it?
Lots of blood.
Lots of blood.
Lots of blood.
That's some nudity.
A little bit. It's partial nudity.
Yeah.
That's called partial nudity.
Us in the business call that partial.
Hideo Kojima tweeted the poster and said, "New and final." Oh, I thought it was new and fine for a second. Threw me off. New and final visual poster for limited stores will be displayed from August. Stained in blood, the aftermath of revenge.
Well, he's not wrong about the stained in blood part.
So, this is just the most recent in our long chain of what the hell is going on with Konami and Kojima, which will bring us into a slightly more interesting story from July 20th about Metal Gear Solid 5 Ground Zeroes and a really weird thing that somebody discovered in it.
Oh yeah, I heard about this.
So, there's a bonus mission in Ground Zeroes called Deja Vu, where you play as the PlayStation 1 low polygon Solid Snake from Metal Gear Solid, and it's great. But the whole objective of this mode is to explore the map and find, or maybe this isn't the objective, but it's something you can do in it. Is exploring the map to find the logos from previous Metal Gear games. They're all over the place. It's a weird meta thing, and you have a little light you can shine on the logos that removes them from where they are. But logos for games that Kojima directed include special information. And if you call for information, Snake's friend Miller will say things like, "Back then, Snake was just 16 by 32 pixels, and only 4 colors." So you can have there's a big list of all the comments he makes and stuff on the wiki, and that's been known for a while. But when you highlight a game that Kojima did not direct, like a Metal Gear game that he didn't direct, because it's got all of them.
Yeah.
It doesn't disappear, and it says on the screen, "Not a Hideo Kojima game." It's weird.
Okay.
So, Metal Gear Acid 2, it's a PSP card game. Miller, you try and erase it, and Miller will say, "Oh, it's nothing special." And then the game tells you it's not a Hideo Kojima game. So in light of what's happening now, this is weird. With his name being taken off of, everything. I feel like it's gotta just be coincidence. Because Kojima likes doing weird stuff anyway.
Yeah.
Unless back when Ground Zeroes was being made, there was already, tension going on about this stuff.
That wouldn't surprise me, actually.
Yeah, and maybe he put this in as kind of a jab at Konami?
It's so indirect that it either is a coincidence or it's, the only thing you could legally get away with.
Yeah, and he's the type to get away with the stuff he can get away with. He likes to push it with stuff like that.
Have you seen pictures of that man? He loves to push the envelope.
He loves it. He looks like he's a madman. He looks like that new Street Fighter character. I would love to know if this was intentional or not. He loves to mess with people, which is leading some people to even say that all this stuff between him and Konami is yet another ridiculous, elaborate ruse to, make himself into a real-world big boss who's been demonized by his country and all this stuff.
Man, if only
oh
this
my
were
God.
an elaborate marketing stuff.
This is he's making, pro wrestling look like a joke with their ability to create these ridiculous works.
I mean, it would be if they hadn't canceled Silent Hills.
Yeah.
Then I would be like, oh, this is
That's
gonna be a funny joke.
That's the one thing that makes me sure that it's actually super bad. That and Akio Otsuka saying that Kojima Productions was dissolved is also pretty damning.
And a lot of the stuff we've read about Konami as to how they want to get out of making video games.
Yeah, but then they always say whenever that comes up, "No, we're committed to making console games."
While they're making slot machines,
Pachinko machines
in the background.
Yeah. No, we're gonna make more, promise. Seriously.
Just let us make this fighting game slot machine first.
Yeah. What else we got? Upcoming game news. Monster Hunter Cross is getting released in Japan on November 28th of this year. There's no announcement for a Western release, but I'm excited anyway. There was a big gameplay event video that just showed off some returning monsters that hadn't been announced yet. Showed a little more how all the new fighting styles work now, and a lot of the new super moves, how those are going to function. as well as the retooling of the gun lance weapon, which has been changed around a lot, so it works better. And the really pretty new particle effects. Everything looks really pretty now. In an article from the 20th on Polygon, or I guess just on the 20th, Vanillaware, the company that brought us most recently Dragon's Crown,
very nice.
very pretty games, is going to be re-releasing Odin Sphere, a PS2 RPG they made that's super cool. They're going to be re-releasing it in 2016, in January 2016, for PS3, PS4, and Vita. So they're going to be updating the game to HD, which will be awesome because that game has absolutely gorgeous graphics, much like Dragon's Crown. But in addition to that, they're going to be making a lot of gameplay changes to it. They're going to be adding a bunch of new enemies, including new bosses. There's going to be whole new maps added. There's going to be tweaks to the game's core systems, which were an alchemy system and a fighting system. And it looks like they're even going to be adding more dimensions to the levels, because it used to be the game world was made of rings, and you would walk around the ring and then move to other rings to continue through the level. But now they're adding more dimensions of travel to it, so it looks like you can go up and down on platforms and stuff. So I don't know, but they're also going to be including the classic version of Odin Sphere, the 2007 version of the game, which is going to be an unchanged version of the game. So you get that if you buy the remaster as well. And yeah, the release date is January 14th, 2016 in Japan. No word on a Western release, but this game's pretty well liked within its little niche JRPG market. So I'd be surprised if we didn't see it, at least digital only. It's getting a physical release in Japan, but yeah, we probably will only get a digital release over here. But there's a trailer out for it. Looks really cool. Check it out, especially if you liked Dragon's Crown. It's not a side-scrolling beat-em-up game like that. It's more of an action JRPG kind of thing, but it's a very different little game. It's cool, and it's really long. If you want something that'll occupy your time, jump on that.
There was an article I was reading about a new studio that has just formed.
Oh, really?
What is it called? Oh my god, I've forgotten the name of Nightmare.
Does it have something to do with Neverwinter Nights?
It does have something to do with Neverwinter Nights.
I saw Neverwinter on your little tablet over there.
Nightmare is a studio that was formed by some dudes who used to work at BioWare.
Okay.
And also one guy who's joined them who used to do mod content and stuff for Neverwinter Nights, the one that came out around 2000. And he made levels for that stuff, and everyone loved him, and they were all great. So they're working on a game together called Mooncrest. And they haven't made it as a Kickstarter or anything, which is kind of what I was expecting.
Yeah, that's interesting.
I guess they're totally able to fund it, but they have a website up, and they have some beautiful concept art, if you want to take a look at that. They've also just have a very active blog about their development and stuff, and they're still in the early stages, but they're just releasing tons and tons of information. So they haven't talked much about the gameplay. They've talked a lot more about the story that they're going to do, which is the two female protagonists working together to overcome a bunch of obstacles, and supposedly there will be gameplay mechanics where you're dealing with having two characters. Obviously going to be RPG elements, but they described some parts of it as having a Souls-like gameplay. Which is weird because they're a dev team from studios that are known for making RPGs that are not Souls-like, so that confounds me a little bit because it's outside of their wheelhouse. But at the same time, I don't know. Seems really interesting. I've been hearing a lot about it, so I would say check it out.
Yeah, why not?
Why not?
Here's something I never thought we'd have news about. Crash Bandicoot.
On the 19th, a gem was uncovered.
From
the distant past.
8 minute and a half long Crash Bandicoot cartoon, which I'm sure you can find with very little trouble. I'll post it up on our Facebook, because this deserves to be posted. This is animation that people thought was from, when it first showed up, people thought it was from a Crash Bandicoot cartoon series that never aired. But it was actually a cutscene proposed for the original game, but that was left on the cutting room floor. This is coming from the game's producer who's saying this. The video is a test animation that was done for Crash Bandicoot, produced by Universal Animation early in development of the game. It was based on ideas for where we were going with the IP at the time, but was probably too ambitious in nature. It was never used or even embedded in the game as a hidden Easter egg. There are many close to the development of the original game that do not even know that this material existed.
Ooh.
This is like the deepest, darkest Crash Bandicoot lore right here. You can't even handle it. So Crash Bandicoot came out in 1996, production of Universal Interactive, which brought on Naughty Dog to develop. Everybody knows Naughty Dog now. Apparently the animated scenes were going to be source material for a full animated series if the game was successful and well received enough.
See, that's weird to me because the game was really successful and
Right.
well received at the time. It just isn't. It's one of those games that has sort of disappeared at this point. But yeah, at the time, people loved it.
It says that when Sony got involved and licensed it, they didn't want the animated scenes because Sony was trying so hard to push 3D at the time, so that could have something to do with it. But it's still odd to me that they never tried to use it in some way, because Crash Bandicoot was a big franchise for a while. That and, like, Spyro.
I'm sure that animated series would have been awful.
Probably.
Like, really bad.
Absolutely terrible. Well, if, like, Legend of Zelda and stuff's anything to go off of, it would have been miserable.
Oh, yeah.
Well, excuse me, Dr. Cortex. Was his name Cortex?
I don't care.
I think so.
I'm done with it.
You're done with it? You're done with Crash Bandicoot? Done collecting apples?
But definitely check out this video. It's really interesting.
It's super goofy. It's something. It tells you the true story. Crash Bandicoot. What games we got coming out?
Blaze Blue.
Chrono Phantasma Extend.
For the PS Vita. Blaze Blue's cool.
Blaze Blue's cool. There's too many versions of it.
Yeah.
I don't even want to buy a new version of it until I know I'm getting, like, the last version.
And a bunch of their names are made up of words that aren't really words.
It's a Japanese game.
Yeah, that's true.
Need I remind you of Under Night in Birth EXE Late?
No, you don't. Please don't throw JRPG titles at me.
It's not a JRPG, it's a fighting game.
Oh, no,
just
really?
like Blaze Blue.
Ugh.
How could you not tell that was a fighting game by the title, Legs? Under Night in Birth. We got King's Quest, Episode 1.
Yeah.
The new King's Quest.
Super excited about this.
It's coming out on the 28th, along with Episode 4 of Life is Strange. And
N++.
Angry Birds 2.
On the 30th, Angry
They made a
Birds 2.
sequel?
Yes.
Why would they even need to? What could possibly be changed?
Well, there's going to be a movie, right? So
well, they can charge you money for another game, I guess.
Yeah, they keep pumping out product.
Something that caught my eye here, Legend of K HD. This is a game that I played a demo of on my PS2 back in, like, 2003. I didn't think this game ever released.
But it did.
I've thought about this game a bunch, like, just at random. It'll pop in my head, I'll be like, what's the name of that game with the cat guy and the Chinese sword? I played a demo of it, I could never find it. And there it is.
You're going to be able to find it now.
Apparently it released back in 2005, in September.
And that was released on the DS in 2010, and
Yeah.
that was released on the Wii U.
Well, that's the new release.
Oh, that's the new one.
The Wii U, PlayStation 4, PC,
and Mac. Okay.
So, this game was pretty fun. I actually really liked the demo of this. It was a cool little action platformer. So, and I thought that for whatever reason it was one of those games that just never ended up getting released. But apparently I was wrong. I've never seen this game in a store. Ever.
Never.
It's weird. So I'm actually considering picking up the HD version of this and seeing if it's as cool as I remember. Because I remember it was a fun little game. You do lots of sword fighting. You fight some weird gorilla guys and rats. It's weird.
I don't know.
It's from that era.
IGN gave it a 7.5 out of 10, which means it must be a realistic 2 out of 10.
Masterpiece. GameSpot gave it an 8.
Not helping your concept.
X-Play gave it 4 out of 5.
Oh, okay, that's reasonable then. X-Play actually knew how to
You
rate
trust
things.
X-Play?
Yeah. At the CES. He knew what he was doing.
The CES knows. Like, it didn't blow my mind or anything, but the demo seemed like a really fun little game. So this was a blast from my past right there. That's cool.
Well,
that's about it, though, as far as releases.
We are massively out of time.
We're done.
But
we started a little late. We're good.
Oh, okay. But thanks for listening. This has been Don't Copy That Floppy, a weekly video game news podcast. We're on all sorts of social media, such as Facebook, Twitter, Steam, YouTube, iTunes.
That's it. That's all.
That's all the whole fist of.
The fist of social media.
And if you want to check out our archive, you can check it out either on iTunes or at the chipit.net site. Interact with us on social media. We'd love to hear from you. And remember,
don't copy that floppy.